time for this video, we are going to talk about multiplication of radicals. So in multiplying radicals, there are a lot of lessons that we will integrate before we multiply radicals. No? For example, the laws of exponents, laws of radicals, the distributive property of multiplication, and so on and so forth. So you need to still know those lessons for you to be able to multiply radicals. So let's say we have the first three examples. We have example number 1, and we will evaluate this expression. So we have square root of 7 squared. Now, square root of 7 squared can be written like this. Square root of 7 times square root of 7. Meaning we need to multiply 7 two times by itself. And as you can see here, these radicals have the same index, obviously, and applying the product law of radicals, if they have the same index, therefore you can just multiply their radicals. So what will happen is you need to rewrite the given in a single radical sign and multiply their radicals. In this case, we have square root of 7 times 7 is equal to square root of 49. And square root of 49 can still be simplified as 7. And this is now your product. Okay? How about for the second example? So for the second example, we have coefficient, a numerical coefficient. So what will happen is that we need to apply the power rule in the laws of exponent. So we need to distribute 2, which is the exponent outside the parenthesis, no, to each term inside the parenthesis. So we have 3 and then raised to the second power, as well as cube root of 2 raised to the second power. Okay, we distributed 2, which is the exponent, to each term inside the parenthesis. Now, simplifying this, 3 raised to the second power, that is equal to 9. Okay, and this, we can expand this one. So we can write this as cube root of 2 times cube root of 2. And as you can see, they both have the same index. So just like what we did on our first example, we write the given in a single radical sign and multiply the radicals. Okay, we now have 9 cube root of 2 times 2 is 4. And observing this, it is already simplified, no? We cannot factor out 4 kasi wala na siyang factor na perfect cube. Therefore, this is now the product. So we have 9 cube root of 4. And then the next one, we have 8 square root of 5 times 3 square root of 4. Okay? Now here, what will happen is that you need to multiply separately the numerical coefficients. Okay? So we need to multiply 8 and 3. And then the radicals, kung napapansin ninyo, they have the same index. Therefore, applying the product law of radicals, you can just multiply their radicals. So we have square root of 5 times 4. So 8 times 3, that is 24. Square root of 5 times 4 is square root of 20. And then observing this, we can still simplify square root of 20, no? So we need to factor it out. Isip tayo ng factor ni 20 na perfect square. And that will be 4. So 4 times 5. And then simplifying this, square root of 4 is 2. We need to multiply 2 to the numerical coefficient, which is 24. And then, just rewrite square root of 5. Now here, we have 24 times 2, that is 48. And then rewrite natin square root of 5. So the product, for example, number 3 is 48 square root of 5. So here we now have our example numbers 4 and 5. So example number 4, we need to find the product of square root of 2 and quantity 5 square root of 2 plus square root of 3. So to find the product of this example, we need to distribute square root of 2 to each term inside the parentheses. So what will happen is that kailangan natin i-multiply si square root of 2 kay 5 square root of 2 and then i-multiply din natin siya kay square root of 3. Okay? And then dito muna tayo sa part na to. So square root of 2 times 5 square root of 2 and that will be 5. And then same index yung radicals, therefore apply natin yung product law of radicals. So multiply natin yung radicals nila. Then plus, same as this, no? They have the same index, therefore we can just multiply their radicals. And then simplifying this, we have 5 square root of 2 times 2 is 4 plus square root of 2 times 3 is 6. And then observing this, we can still simplify square root of 4. That will result to 2. Then plus square root of 6. Square root of 6, we cannot factor it out. No, wala na siyang factor na perfect square. Therefore, simplify na lang natin si 5 times 2. So, we have 10 plus square root of 6. 10 and square root of 6, we cannot combine them. No? 10 is a constant and square root of 6 is a radical. Therefore, this is now your product. So, we have 10 plus square root of 6. And then for our next example, what will happen here is you just need to use the shortcut method. So, if ganito yung given ninyo and you will be computing the product, dapat yung terms ng dalawang binomial ay the same. So, like this example, yung first terms nila ay both square root of 6 and then yung second terms nila parehong square root of 3 and they are separated by a plus and minus sign. Kaya siya tinawag na sum and difference of two binomials. So the steps in finding the product of this type of expression is we need to square the first term and then put a minus sign to separate the terms, and then we need to square the second term also. Square root of 6 squared is simply 6 minus square root of 3 squared is simply 3. So we have 6 minus 3 and that is equal to 3. That is now the product of example number 5. And now we have our last example. So here in our last example, we have square root of m plus 4 squared. There are two possible solutions na pwede nyong gamitin to solve the product of this example. The first solution is to expand this given. Okay? So, pag in-expand natin siya, i-rewrite nyo lang siya ng doble kasi naka-square siya, di ba? So, it will become like square root of m plus 4 or quantity square root of m plus 4 times quantity square root of m plus 4. And then just use FOIL method to solve the product. So let's multiply the first terms. So square root of m times square root of m. That will be equal to square root of m squared. No? And square root of m squared is simply m. And then the outer terms, square root of m times 4, that will result to positive 4 square root of m. Mauuna lang yung constant. And magiging siyang coefficient v square root of m. Same as the inner terms, no? 4 times square root of m is equal to positive siya lahat. Positive 4 square root of m. And then, the last terms, 4 times 4, that is equal to 16, positive 16. And then observing this, you can combine similar terms. In this case, mayroong similar radicals na you can combine. And that is the middle terms. Okay, so we have m plus 4 plus 4 is 8. And then copy the radical, we have square root of m. So we have 8 square root of m plus 16. Therefore, this is now your product. So that is the first solution. You need to expand the given and use FOIL method to solve the product. Now, we have solution number 2. So, solution number 2, we will use yung method for special products. Okay? Yung example number 5 and example number 6 kasi is a type of special products. Meaning, there are shortcut methods that we need or we can use to get the product. So, kanina sa example number 5, shortcut method yung ginamit natin, no? In-square natin yung first term and then yung last term and then separated by a minus sign para makuha natin yung product. Ganun yung shortcut doon. Okay? Pero you can also use FOIL method for example number 5. Okay? Dito sa example number 6 naman, example number 5 is an example of sum and difference of two binomials. Example number 6 is an example of square of binomials. Kapag square of binomials yung hinahanapan natin ng product, mayroon tayong mga steps na sinusunod. Yung unang step is, sabi, we need to square the first term in the binomial na given. So, kapag in-square natin si m, ang answer ay square root of m squared, and square root of m squared is m. Okay? And then the second step is double the product of the term. So, 2, kasi double, di ba? Multiply daw natin si 2 kasi double. So, we need to multiply them by 2. Multiply natin si 2 kay square root of m and 4. Double the product of the terms in the given binomial. Okay? So, 2 times square root of m times 4, the answer is 8 square root of m. And then, square the last term in the binomial. So, we have 4 squared, that is simply 16. And then, we need to combine the products that we get. So, we have m plus 8 square root of m plus 16. As you can see, you did get a similar answer. No? But then, kung alam niyo yung special products, mas mabilis niyo siyang makukuha. If you know the steps on how to get the product in the shortest way possible, then mas better. Pero kung hindi niyo natatandaan yung special product, and you need to use the FOIL method, then it's fine. You will just get the same answer. So that's it. That is how you find the product of radicals.